Let's feast. I don't know why I did that.
Okay, all y'all niggas fool as fuck. I'm ULT and I don't fuck with you if you ain't us. In me I trust, I turn these niggas into cosmic dust. I'm loaded Lux with a loaded K, cop back, I spray, I bust. That player shit, that Raider shit still running through my blood. These brand new niggas took my name and drug it through the mud.
I like that. This is a good opening to the podcast. We're all in jovial spirits, but it's not just me and Tim this week. No, we have a third spirit of joviality. Yes. It's an old friend, a dear friend, but by no means a near friend. How are things going early in the morning where you are, Tara?
Well, quite lovely considering how early it is in the morning. I'm doing fine. Really happy to be with both of you.
And I'm happy to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. As we said, this is the End Podcast. You can find us on all platforms. The End Pod one-shots on YouTube. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. We are on Google Podcasts. We are on SoundCloud. We upload art to Instagram, and we also post reviews on Twitter. So it's fairly comprehensive. So out of all those choices, if you haven't followed us, liked us, or commented on one of our exemplary podcasts or uploads, shame on you. Shame on you.
We've been really crushing it too.
It's kind of crushing, isn't it,
Yeah.
Tim? Like, I feel that our best podcast has been since we jettisoned all the deadwood.
We've been so good. I mean, like, how good.
I feel like we've gone on to heights we couldn't have even imagined. I actually feel they were holding us back.
The conversations that we have every week are like 10 standard deviations above our prior meeting.
I would go as far as to say this is the Empyrean version of our podcast. Yeah. This is the seventh heaven of the End podcast. We would also like to mention that Tara is again here with us this week, and also
what that makes me.
Joe Goose, and Brian will also be making appearances soon. We're just having jokes in with Tim. We're having jokes. We miss them all. We just wish that I had more time to involve everybody more often. We miss them all. Right, Batman trailer. How do you feel about the Batman trailer? It's fucking amazing! That's how you feel about it. Oh my God, it's so
I squeed. I actually squeed.
I can't even stop.
Live.
Honestly, it's so good. It's so good.
I squeed on a stream. Oh. That's how excited I was.
You streamed on a stream.
I didn't stream on a stream, but that's lovely as an idea. But I did squee on a stream.
Double naughty. I double streamed everywhere. Honestly, guys, I watched that and I thought, do you know what the most important thing in the world is? It's Batman. like Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. You can keep them all. I don't care about Ragnarok anymore. Ragnarok's just a blip in the distance. I don't care that they butchered the source material because we've got Batman. With Marie them in a funny place. I'm trying to catch up with the X-Men trades because there's been like another bunch of them released. I'm pre-reading potential Christmas presents for Tim, and I'm also trying to read all the presents that I received last year to not make a mockery of this year's Christmas presents. So I'm thinking November is the month for pre-read it. By the way, it's not that Tim's special. Like Tim and Tara are equally. He is. He's special. I don't know. Well, listen to the intro. You'll find out how special he is.
But bald-headed stepchild here.
The thing is with Tim is the thing with buying Christmas presents for Tim. It's like David Beckham's asked you for football boots. That's the problem.
True. That's perfect.
So you have to go through all these like back channels, dark web comics to find stuff. But the thing is, I've not read them, so I don't want to send him shit. Right. And what I'm finding out is it's really like hit and miss and the stuff. Some of the stuff I've read, I'm like, all right, this is fine. And then other stuff, I'm just like, fucking hell, Tim's going to absolutely love this. And then he goes, you mean plastic? And I'm like, oh, yeah. I'll cross that one off then.
Speaking of plastic, Doug, he lives locally. We could probably interview him.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's just that'd be good. So the point of Batman.
Batman.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at. I've got James Tynion the Fourth. His Detective Comics omnibus. I've got 3 Grant Morrisons and a Paul Dini omnibus, and I'm just looking at them and thinking, bet Tim don't even like Christmas presents. Like, I've never been a huge Batman fan until I started reading the comics. It was just another film. I read the Scott Snyder thing. I've read like a couple of other oddities as well. But he's just a cool character, isn't he? There's just something about him.
He's a super cool character. And I love the casting too. I think Robert Pattinson's just tremendous. I love him
I
as
can
an actor.
finally say yes to
a guy
that.
who is such a good actor that he is completely, any stink that was associated with Twilight, it's gone. He's like now like a legit full-on leading man. And now he's, I mean, obviously he's Batman. The one thing I counted Catwoman, Riddler, and Penguin as villains in the trailer. Did you guys see anybody else? Am I missing anybody?
I didn't see anybody else.
Okay. My one like slight concern is like, DC especially has a tendency to stuff 50 plot lines into one movie. And I wonder if maybe you got to hold some of those bullets for another time, but that's my only possible concern, but it looks dope.
I think with that in mind, what puts my mind at ease, because you are absolutely accurate, Tim, as you are always, it's Matt Reeves, and he's dealt with a trilogy before with Planet of the Apes. So that's what sets my mind at ease. Oh, I'll tell you what I didn't remember talking about the cast. Andy Serkis is Alfred. Yeah. I love the sassy ones. Jeremy Irons was sick.
Yeah.
I didn't put together the Planet of the Apes stuff. Those were so good. That does put me at ease.
So good. It's almost like a perfect trilogy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
And I think in the realms of the remake and the reboot that we're having now, this is the thing. There's a player called Ryan Giggs who played for like 20 years for Man U. A horrible, horrible, horrible human being, but a very good footballer. Now, after he retired, they were always looking for the next Ryan Giggs until Ronaldo signed for Man U. And then they just forgot about Ryan Giggs. There'll never be the next Ryan Giggs, because when that came along, it's just Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like with reboots and with like remakes, the legitimate ones will never come across that way. Like Planet of the Apes, now just Planet of the Apes trilogy, right? Like it's just when you say that, that's what you think of. Like, nobody's thinking of Mark Wahlberg bumming an orangutan on the beach. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
So definitely not fixing the outro in post, but I'd like to thank Tim. Thank you very much, Tim, for all your glorious contribution this week, and big thanks to Tara for making herself available at the crack of dawn to join us on this week's podcast. And of course, thanks to me as well, because I'm pretty cool as well. So yeah, good episode, I feel. And that only leaves me one thing to say. We have been, and this is the end.